It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both. Look around the room. Music low, glasses clinking, the soft gold of evening on polished faces. Smiles move like coins from hand to hand. You feel the warmth, but you also feel the price. Every handshake is a small contract. Every question a probe for leverage. Every compliment a chip on the table. You are not in a friendship circle. You are in a market with velvet walls. A stranger calls you brother. Another laughs too hard at your jokes. Someone slides close to ask what you're building, who you know, when your next move lands. They tilt their head in perfect sympathy when you tell a hardship story, then pivot to what you can introduce. Watch the eyes. There is always a ledger. People pay with courtesy because it costs little and buys access. They trade attention for information. They trade closeness for doors you can open. The city is crowded, reputation is a currency, and everyone is trying to spend yours before they earn their own. So you sit at your table, the table you earned, and you must be two animals at once. The fox to read the tracks, light step, patient eyes, a nose for traps, hidden in friendly grass. You remember that lies arrive, dressed as empathy. You let people speak, you check whether their stories match under pressure, whether their favors come with strings, whether their time appears only when cameras are near. The fox smiles, but it listens more than it talks. It remembers who showed up when there was no audience. It stores patterns more carefully than names. And you must be the lion to hold your ground. The lion is simple. It does not roar for sport. It roars to draw a line. You can be gracious without giving away the gate. You can be warm and still say no. You can decline a request without apology, enforce a boundary without anger, and end a lopsided deal without grief. In the office, the lion is a calendar that guards your hours. In the group chat, the lion is silence after disrespect. In your DMs, the lion is a clear, short reply that does not feed entertainment or entitlement. You are not cruel, you are clear, you are not distant, you are disciplined. But here is the truth you avoid until it bites. Love fails when fortune turns. When you are promoted, some faces brighten because proximity pays. When you stumble, watch how quickly always here becomes been so busy. A deal collapses. Your name leaves the trending lane, and the same hands that clapped now fold into pockets. It is not mystery, it is math. Interest moves like weather. People seek shelter and advantage. Those who came for warmth will leave when the fire is low. Those who came for the hearth of your success never learn to stand in the cold wind with you. Read it without tears. Your so-called fake friends are not monsters. They are rational under pressure. Incentives write most speeches. Fear of loss steadies more promises than affection does. A fine smile cannot compete with a locked door. This is not cynicism. This is clarity. When you see structure, you stop taking it personally. You stop bargaining with fog. You choose to govern yourself like a small state. A few good laws, firm enforcement, careful alliances, rewards for loyalty, swift distance from repeat offenders. Picture 3 scenes. First, the launch party, where strangers vow lifelong brotherhood over free wine. Note the business cards that vanish once the cameras leave. Second, the sprint week, when your inbox floods with quick favor from ghosts who never answer yours. Watch how love speaks fluent urgency. Third, the quiet Sunday after your setback, when 2 people check in without asking for anything. Remember their names, build your city with them. You are not cold for seeing clearly, you are simply awake. The theater goes on, but you no longer pay full price for a seat. You will greet, shake hands, laugh, and still guard the gate. Fox to read, lion to act, fortune turns, and you endure because you built on stone, not applause. Be the fox that sees and the lion that acts. Everyone sees what you appear to be, few really know what you are. You live in a city of bright signs and polished smiles. Timelines glow, poundlines glow. Bios brag, rooms feel warm like summer, but the thermostat is set by profit. People learn the choreography, a hug for the camera, a friendly tag, a message that sounds like care but works like a key in your lock. Appearances rule because appearances move doors. A generous laugh makes others relax. A tidy story wins a seat. A public display of loyalty, loud repeated, turns into access to your schedule. Reputation is not a halo. It is a tool. People carve it like stone and set it where it catches the light. Watch the rituals. Someone posts a tribute to your vision, then attaches a request for a meeting. Another praises your integrity, then asks for an introduction before you can answer, "Thank you." None of this is necessarily evil. It is instrumental. Warmth is a ladder. Proximity is a badge. In a crowded marketplace, smiles are cheaper than results, so they become the costume of advancement. Affection is a pass at the gate, not proof of citizenship inside the walls. In the city of appearances, friendliness is often a uniform worn on duty. You are expected to play as well. You nod at the right moments. You share the polished parts and hide the cost. You keep your brand clean because people judge by the eye, not the hand, but the rule cuts both ways. When others stage their care, ask what the stage is for. Does their loyalty survive when the lights go out? Do they still call when there is nothing to post? Most will not, because their affection was designed to enter the castle, not to repair the wall. If you confuse performance with proof, you hand your keys to the first actor who learns your lines. Now the ranking that offends gentle ears and yet governs real behavior. Love competes with fear, and fear often wins. Love leans on feeling, which rises and falls with weather and gossip. Fear leans on consequence, which remains when feelings fade. In a company, a teammate may say, "I've got you," but the deadline and the review say, "Deliver or pay." Which voice truly binds? In a friendship, someone swears solidarity, but when a scandal storms, notice who speaks and who stays silent. Chains of words snap under the weight of risk. Consequence holds, incentive commands. When reputation is on the line, nice talk bends toward safety, not toward you. This is not a call to cruelty. It is a call to clarity. You can be loved, but do not depend on love to secure what only discipline can guard. Set boundaries as if protecting a small republic. Enforce respect with quiet rules, not rage. Do not bluff when someone violates the agreement. Arrives only to take leaks what you confided, flatters in public, and criticizes in private. You do not lecture. You reduce access. You make the next breach costly. Do it calmly, like a ruler who knows the law persuades better than the speech. In practice, fewer open doors, more earned entry. Fewer vague favors, more clear terms. Fewer second chances for repeat offenders, more promotion for the loyal. Under pressure, nice talk collapses because incentives outmuscle emotion. Watch a team when a bonus is on the line. We becomes I, and old promises fracture along fault lines you ignored. Watch a family argue over an inheritance. Love thins and the house's true constitution appears. People are not demons. They are responsive to risk and reward. Build your dealings on that, and you will be less shocked, less wounded, and more just. You will forgive faster. Not because you excuse the harm, but because you finally understand the math. Now study the everyday economy of closeness. The ledger nobody admits exists. Compliments are deposits. Favors are loans. Secrets are collateral. When someone showers you with praise before a request, mark the timing. When a person keeps score, "I did this for you, remember?" Hear the interest rate rising. When someone shares gossip as a gift, understand that you have been handed a marked bill. Spend it and you join their currency. Refuse it and you exit their market. In group chats, this shows up as sudden warmth before an ask. At work, it looks like credit sharing in public while debts grow in private. Keep your own accounts without bitterness. Who brings value without advertising it? Who returns what they borrow? Time, energy, reputation, without drama. Who disappears until your headline hits, then arrives with a shopping list. The ledger will teach you faster than speeches. Practice clean transactions. Thank openly, promise rarely, deliver exactly. When you give a favor, make it a gift with no hook or a deal with clear terms, nothing in between. When you receive a favor, repay promptly with interest and respect. Close small loops quickly so no one needs to chase you. This is how you signal strength without noise. Your word is a contract, your boundaries are signage. Your kindness is deliberate, not for sale. Learn to spot the red flags in tiny letters. The praise that comes only after publicity. The friend who invites you only when more powerful people attend. The colleague who becomes poetic about your potential but vanishes when you ask for help at 11 p.m. The influencer who calls you family and forgets your name when there is nothing to clip. They are traders of the surface. Your peace requires declining their terms. No speeches, no scenes, just a quiet change in access. You are not punishing, you are pricing. You will still have allies. They reveal themselves slowly, like iron under paint. They say less than they do. They protect your absence. They correct you in private and defend you in public. With them, you do not need ceremony. You need consistency. Reward them. Share credit loudly. Cover them when the wind rises. This is not sentimentality. This is policy that stabilizes a state. It teaches your city how to behave. Loyalty is noticed. Reciprocity is real. Exploitation is expensive. Strip the illusion without losing your heart. Keep the door open, but keep the locks working. Accept that many friendships are provisional bridges over the river of self-interest. Some will break when the water rises. A few will stand. Your task is not to curse the river. It is to learn its flow and build accordingly. The sooner you do, the sooner bitterness drains and prudence grows. Less access for takers, more trust for doers, fewer public declarations, more private reliability. Over time, your circle becomes smaller and stronger, and your castle stops throwing free keys into the crowd. See the costume, price the act, honor the few who stay. You do not fall because enemies are strong. You fall because a door inside you is unlocked and unattended. Start with hunger. You want to be seen, praised, included. You want the room to nod, the phone to glow, the message to say, "You're incredible." When that arrives, your ears ring and your guard sleeps. You accept late replies. You overlook contradictions. You call takers generous because they post your name. The craving fogs the glass. When you need validation, you purchase loyalty with a discount and tell yourself it was a bargain. Picture your launch night. Compliments fell like confetti, bright, cheap, everywhere. You felt lifted, so you lowered your gait. You said yes to a request you barely read. You added someone to your circle because they knew the right tone and angle. Weeks later, your idea appeared in their slide deck, renamed, retold, almost yours but not. The betrayal started earlier when you let applause steer and tied your judgment in the trunk. Approval is a drug with a hidden loan. It lends you mood and takes clarity as collateral. Fear of seeming unimpressive mortgages your walls. You show a map to anyone who smiles correctly. You hand out keys because you cannot bear to look cold. Those who should wait don't. Those who should earn won't. The few who truly care must compete with performers in louder costumes. Your soft point is not kindness, it is need. Kindness can say no. Need cannot. When the itch for praise rises, count like a treasure. Ask, if no one clapped, would I still open this door? Share this plan? Give this person my time? Counterfeit loyalty arrives wrapped in admiration. It calls you exceptional and asks you to suspend policy. Just this once. Refuse. Exceptions become habits, habits become losses. Now examine governance. A well-run state trusts audits over speeches. A well-run self does the same. You keep hiring words for jobs that require deeds. You elect promises to offices that demand proof. You treat a tearful apology as repayment, as if the thief who weeps has returned the gold. Naivete is not innocence. It is misrule. You issue visas to soft stories. You let visitors camp by the throne because they swear they will not touch the crown. Study your admissions. How often did you accept, "I've changed," without seeing new behavior under pressure? How often did you extend unlimited credit to someone who never paid in respect? You treat boundaries like temporary signs. People learn they can speed. You call it generosity. It is abdication. A ruler who closes their eyes does not create peace. They create a playground for opportunists. Trust is not a lamp in an open window. Trust is a contract with terms, evidence, and enforcement. Healthy cities have checkpoints. Healthy lives have tests, not elaborate traps, simple verifications. Does the colleague defend your name when you are absent? Does the friend keep a confidence when sharing it would buy status? Do they show up without an audience? Do they repay time with time, not with sorry speeches? When answers are no, the policy is clear. Reduce access, not hope. Adjust the gate. You are not sentencing, you are governing. Beware the pep talk that ruins countries and lives. People mean well, some do, Many mean well until risk rises. Incentives ask what action costs, not how warm it felt. Write that into your code. Words do not outweigh patterns. Wishes do not amend constitutions. Measure first, grant slowly, enforce calmly. If this sounds cold, remember how much warmth you lost repairing damage made by being nice. Now walk the market where resentment sells you cheap. A rival is praised for work you could do better. An old friend outpaces you, and envy tastes metallic in your mouth. You want to catch up fast, so you bargain down your standards to stay near the heat. You laugh at jokes you hate. You accept crumbs and call them strategy. You let someone treat you like a spare tool, because standing outside with your pride feels lonelier than sitting inside on a leash. Resentment turns you into a discount counter. You agree to harsh terms and hope the price will rise later. It will not. Terms harden. People remember what you accept more than what you say you deserve. Each time you swallow a small insult to keep access, you train the seller to raise the fee. Each time you hide discomfort, you teach them your silence can be rented. Old wounds, the friend who left, the parent who withheld, the coach who belittled, become smugglers' roads through your borders. Watch how manipulation rides those roads. The person who knows you fear abandonment, threatens distance to extract favors. The one who knows you envy status, dangles invitations. The one who knows you crave praise, serves it like bait before a hook. If you do not secure those routes, merchants of advantage will dock at your shore, unload demands and sail away richer while you sweep the harbor in the dark. Healing is not a speech, it is a tariff. Raise the cost of entry by clarifying your value. If someone wants your time, they pay with time. If someone wants your trust, they pay with consistent action. If someone wants your silence, they pay with respect. Price your attention correctly and the cheap buyers vanish. The serious stay. This is not arrogance. This is sanitation. You are closing markets that sell your dignity by the crate. Use boring tools. Keep a short list of non-negotiables and read it when you are flattered or afraid. Delay decisions that arrive spiced with praise. Ask for evidence, accept only behavior. Track small repayments. Reward the person who returns the book on time, who corrects rumors in your absence, who tells you the unpretty truth privately. Make disloyalty expensive and loyalty visible. Markets respond to prices. So do people. When you commit to these policies, you will feel sober, maybe even dull. Good. Drama costs more than it pays. You are choosing peace over spectacle. The hunger still visits, but you feed it with real food, self-respect, earned alliances, predictable rules. Your borders stop bleeding. Your calendar stops apologizing. Your city grows quieter, cleaner, more just. And when betrayal knocks, it finds a gate that does not open to a compliment. Close the wound, fix the policy, guard the gate. The knife arrives with your name on it, hidden inside a smile. You feel it before you see it. The room cools by a few degrees, though the air still hums. Your phone lights up, a screenshot, a forwarded thread. Your promise stripped of context and paraded like a medal on the wrong chest. Someone has been rehearsing your downfall in private, and the audience has been generous. The screen becomes a window and a weapon. The words are neat, clever, surgical. You read your friend's certainty that you are expendable. Your temples throb. Your jaw finds iron. The music in the cafe turns to tin. You taste metal. Time splits. On one side, yesterday's ease. On the other, a city at night with no guards on the walls. You scroll again and find the overheard moment. You ignored last week. 2 jokes too sharp, an apology too fast. You replay a handshake that lingered half a second longer than it should have, a stare that measured your gait. Your skin prickles with late knowledge. The body keeps minutes better than the mind. Your shoulders rise, your breath shortens. In this state, every light seems like interrogation. You step outside, winter enters your chest. The city's sound becomes a choir of knives. Machiavelli would call it a change of fortune. You call it a cliff. You think of the last dinner, wine, laughter, the exact way they toasted your future. Remember the invitation that felt like honor and now tastes like bait. The betrayal is not only the message, it is the realization that you fed the messenger, warmed the horse, and lowered the drawbridge yourself. This is defeat at home. This is the ruler learning that the guard captain sells maps. Inside, the trial begins. No judge appears, so you become the harshest one. You summon every misstep and stack them like charges. Was I foolish? Did I miss the scent? Did I need the party more than the truth? Your mind turns legal, precise, and merciless. You cross-examine your kindness as if it were a crime. The defendant is hope. The prosecutor is humiliation. Evidence exhibits, late replies you forgave, favors you gave without terms, rumors you ignored because you preferred the lighting in that friendship. You ask the ugliest question, am I unlovable? This is the trick of the moment. Confusing a breach of policy with a verdict on your worth. But the body under siege wants a simple story, and cruelty is simple. You remember childhood silences, the first time a door locked in your face, the teacher who praised you in class and forgot you after. Old cases are reopened. The courtroom grows crowded. Every absence testifies against you. You try to be fair and fail because hurt is hungry. You replay what you said in confidence. You imagine it traded like contraband. You picture their grin while they edited your sentences into a performance. Your stomach tightens. You draft imaginary replies, paragraphs bristling with proof, voice notes like arrows. You place this rage on the scale and discover it does not weigh enough to restore what you lost. The sense that your house was safe. Then a smaller voice knocks, the one that speaks in thin daylight after storm. It asks what a prince should ask. What law failed? Not who is evil, but which rule allowed the evil to work. You breathe, once, twice, slower, like a ruler turning from spectacle to ledgers. The inner trial settles. You reduce the sentence from self-ruin to repair. You are not the executioner of your own confidence. You are its advocate, and you are learning the statute that was missing. The streets answer before you do. News moves faster than you can walk. The fracture starts quiet, then spreads. In the group chat, a joke lands flat, and nobody defends you. The friend who loved your honesty now loves distance. Mutuals become meteorologists, checking which way influence blows. Some say nothing, which says enough. Some offer neutrality, a sweet word for self-preservation. Your supply lines thin, the easy invitations dry up. The quick yes turns into a polite delay. The calendar that once burst now respects you by vanishing. At work, alliances wobble. A colleague proposes separate meetings to keep things clean. Another suggests you take time off for clarity, which reads like step aside while we divide your ground. Projects you led are renamed for team ownership. You become a guest in rooms you built. People who used your words as anchors suddenly call them one perspective. The city map redraws itself without asking permission. At home, routines decay. Sleep collects alarms. Food tastes like cardboard obligation. The gym feels performative. Your feeds turn hostile or empty. You catch yourself refreshing for updates that will not save you. Music is too loud. Silence too loud. The border between work and life blurs until everything feels like a negotiation you are losing. Even the mirror seems to hesitate. You search your face for something you can weaponize, some sign that you were never the person they betrayed. The mirror declines to rule. You try to call someone who used to pick up on the second ring. They text hours later with "so sorry, crazy day." You can hear the new policy in their careful grammar. They are waiting to see who keeps the city and who becomes a warning. This is the cost of a single lie. It recruits other lies to survive. Each person adjusts their stance a degree, and soon the parade has turned down a new avenue. Morale drops. Borders blur. Your attention is pulled to fires outside the walls until you forget there is a treasury inside. That is the goal of chaos, to make you spend your focus on smoke while the real thieves count. Pause. Walk the streets as the ruler you still are. If a city can be breached, it can be retaken. Not by tantrum, not by begging, by inventory and rule. Count who stood up without being asked. Keep them close and pay them in trust and opportunity. Count who avoided the fight but brought you water after. They are citizens who can be trained. Count who brought torches and selfies. Close the gate behind them. You need no public execution, only a quiet reshaping of roads. People will follow the lanes you pave. Tonight, you will want to burn it all. You will write speeches with the blood still warm. Resist. Fire delights spectators and weakens stone. Choose cold tools, a list of non-negotiables, a shorter calendar, a smaller table, a firmer price on your attention. Do not craft vengeance, craft policy. Make it boring and unbreakable. Boredom here is peace. The shock will visit again as echoes. Songs that remind you, streets that still carry their footprints, a sudden laugh that sounds like their old warmth. Let them pass. You are building new walls that breathe clarity for mortar, patience for stone, consequences for gates. You will be friendly, but never for sale. You will be generous, but only within budget. You will keep your laws because they keep you. Your identity is not shattered. It is edited. The pages that flattered you but weakened you are torn out. The chapters that hurt will become instructions. The city learns. The ruler returns. You do not need to be loved by everyone to govern well. You need to be known by yourself and respected by the few who matter. The disaster taught you the map. Now walk it. Feel the cut. Keep the law. Reclaim the city. The lie did not break love. It revealed there was no love to break, only a deal you mistook for devotion. You wanted a fable, good hearts, bad hearts, a tidy lesson with warm music and a soft fade out. What you lived was a transaction. A broker smiled like a friend, and you paid in access, time, and reputation while they paid in words. The story hurts because you filed it on the wrong shelf. Change the shelf. File it under governance, not poetry. When you rename the event, it stops ruling you. Precision is dignity. From romance to realpolitik, treat what happened as a contract breach. Someone used your road without a permit, built a stall in your square, then refused the market fee. Do not perform heartbreak rituals for an economic crime. Read the terms. Were expectations written or implied? Did you exchange help? Introductions? Discretion? What was the price? And who said it? If there was no price, that was the flaw. You left the shop open and called the crowd. Community. Now you audit. You close the side doors. You remove the merchandise that should never have been on display. You write the invoice you were afraid to write. When you call a breach by its name, you drop the self-punishing myths. I am unworthy. People always leave. I should never trust. None of these are statutes. They are graffiti left by pain. Erase them. Write policy instead. I grant access slowly. I base trust on behavior under pressure. I remove privileges after one explained violation. This is not cold. It is hygienic. You are not a confessional for strangers. You are a small state with laws. Context beats character. Most people are not saints or demons. They are barometers. Promotion, scarcity, and new partners change the air. And needles swing. Your ally wins power and their calendar worships different gods. Your sector contracts and panic becomes a currency. A new circle forms in status, reprices friendship. Under fresh weather, old claims melt. Words stay the same, incentives move. If you listen only to speeches, you will miss the sirens. Treat fortune like a weather report. What pressures are warping your scene right now? Is there a new boss who rewards distance from you? A rumor that makes association risky? A resource famine that turns kind people into rationers? Read the wind. One coworker went silent after your award. They may not hate you. They may be hedging against envy's lightning. Another friend grew needy after losing a job. Their floods are about survival, not treachery. Still, sandbags are needed. Track shifts, not smiles. And you will stop mistaking umbrellas for enemies and thunder for betrayal. Context also includes your own climate. Did your rise attract petitioners? Did your setback attract vultures? Both are weather patterns, not verdicts on your soul. A market sees opportunity and moves. That is not personal until you make it policy. Stop praying to character as if it were marble. People are clay and the kiln is circumstance. You cannot freeze the weather, but you can build a house that drains. Now your part in the play, responsibility without self-hate, is adulthood. Admit the lax border policies. You overshared because attention felt like care. You granted free access because saying no felt rude. You kept standards vague because you feared seeming demanding. These choices made exploitation cheap. Do not whip yourself. Fix your customs. Replace vibes with rules. Replace any time with appointment. Replace we're family with we're partners. And these are the terms. Oversharing is a leak that invites thieves who speak softly. Patch it. Share slowly in layers. After observing behavior across seasons. Free access is an invitation to squatters. Price your time. If someone wants the keys, they must show stewardship, confidentiality kept, obligations met, small tests passed without applause. Unclear standards are fog that hides cliffs. Write signs. I do not discuss X. I do not lend Y. I do not entertain midnight emergencies from midday acquaintances. You can be warm and still be walled. Gates are not cruelty, they are clarity. Update how you respond to praise and pressure. Praise used to be a master key, now it is a business card at the gate. You take it, smile, and continue the check. Pressure used to panic you into yes, now it activates the calendar. If it's urgent for you, it still must fit the process. You are not punishing anyone, you are protecting everyone, including yourself, from the tax of improvisation. Do not waste energy prosecuting what context already sentenced. Brokers will broker, weather will change. Your job is to make breach unprofitable and loyalty easy. Promote the ally who stayed when you were quiet, not only the one who cheered when you were loud. Pay with access and endorsement, not with resentment-tinged favors. When the disloyal knock again, you need no speech, only a smaller door. Acceptance does not mean softness. It means accuracy. You met a broker, not a friend. Good. Now you know what coin they take and what goods they sell. You will not shop there again for intimacy. You will buy only what is on the label and pay only what you can afford. Paradoxically, this clarity makes you kinder. Without the fever of false romance, you will see who is real and reward them quickly, quietly, well. You will stop trying to extract friendship from merchants and start investing in citizens. You are not cynical, you are precise. You are not bitter, you are busy writing better laws. The event that once felt like doom is now data. With it you fortify the gates, prune the map, and choose alliances that survive weather. This is the freedom inside the harsh name. It was never loved, therefore your heart is not ruined. Only your policy was. Policies change. Your value does not. Rename the story, revise the law, and move on. The lion cannot protect himself from traps, and the fox cannot defend himself from wolves. One must therefore be a fox to recognize traps and a lion to frighten wolves. Power returns when you write your own law, not a speech, a code, short, clear, enforceable. You will be warm, but not harvested, friendly, but not for sale. You will live as a small state with firm borders and a calm guard at the gate. Rule yourself, fox to read motives, lion to protect what matters. First, the laws of the personal state. Statute 1. Access by behavior, not banter. Smiles are not visas. Compliments are not passports. Entry comes through demonstrated conduct. Who keeps a confidence? Who shows up when no one is watching? Who returns what they borrow? Time, credit, energy, without being chased. Those people advance to the inner court, the rest remain in the public square, where politeness is offered and secrets are not. Statute 2. Slow trust. Fire warms and burns, so does closeness. Let people approach in seasons, not seconds. Month 1. Light talk and small tasks. Month 2. Shared work and low-stakes plans. Month 3. A measured test under pressure. If integrity holds, access expands. If it cracks, the drawbridge rises with no drama. Pacing is kindness. It prevents debts neither party can pay. Statute 3. Audit reciprocity. Generosity is noble when it cycles. Keep a quiet ledger, not for revenge, but for balance. Did they return the call? Do they introduce you when they benefit, or only when they need? Do they credit your idea in rooms you cannot enter? When the ledger shows chronic imbalance, you adjust. Fewer favors, clearer terms. The personal state prefers trade to tribute. Statute 4. Consequences for disrespect. Disrespect is not a mood, it is a signal. The first time, name it, that does not work for me. The second time, reduce access. Fewer replies, fewer invitations, no sensitive information. The third time, close the gate. No scenes, no essays. Law, not drama. Post these statutes, like clean signage on a wall. They are instructions for peace. Now the counterintelligence of everyday life. Gather information without paranoia. Patterns speak if you listen. Inconsistent stories are the first tell. A person recounts an event with details that drift like smoke, Times change, facts shift to flatter them. When challenged, they blame memory and hurry forward. If the tale always edits their guilt out, your time will become their alibi. Selective transparency is the second tell. They ask for your plans in high resolution, but share theirs in fog. They want to see your calendar, but keep theirs in myth. You answer, they circle back. Translation, they want leverage, not partnership. Reset the balance or retract the map. Crisis-only contact is the third tell. They vanish in clarity and appear in chaos. Every message is urgent. Every reply expects rescue. They are loyal to the fire, not to you. If you only hear from someone when alarms ring, you are not a friend. You are a fire department they do not fund. Praise before requests is the fourth tell. Compliments arrive like confetti minutes before an ask. You're brilliant, quick favor. No one like you, small thing. This is marketing copy attached to a grab. Enjoy the praise if it is pleasant. Decouple it from permission. The request must stand on merit, not sugar. Learn other signals. Who lowers their voice to deliver gossip as a gift? They will sell your secrets at the next booth. Who forgets your boundaries and remembers their needs? They are not listening, they are scouting. Who apologizes with tears and repeats the act? That is strategy, not sorrow. Mark, do not hate. With intel comes action. Fortify and reward. A wise ruler does not only punish, they make good behavior easy and bad behavior expensive. Calibrated generosity for loyal allies. Feed the garden that feeds you. Share credit in rooms that matter. Offer introductions without the tax of performance. Cover their name when they stumble once, assuming they have covered yours. Send opportunities first to the people who protected you when the crowd grew thin. Swift distance from repeat offenders. No second curriculum for students who refuse the first lesson. If someone breaks a clear rule twice, you do not tutor them. You remove their scholarship. You reply late or not at all. You decline public links. You stop lending your reputation to their needs. Do it quietly. Silence is a strong border. Signaling matters. You teach others how to approach you by how you approach yourself. Arrive on time. Keep your word. Correct errors quickly and without excuse. Decline politely and keep it. When you say, I can't discuss that, let there be no leak later. Your self-discipline becomes your flag. Set rituals that keep the walls healthy. Weekly audit 3 names who fed you this week. 3 names who only fed from you. Thank the first group. Trim the second. Monthly boundary check. What did you say yes to, out of fear? Reverse one of those yeses. Quarterly test of gates. Try one small no in public and watch who argues your right to protect your time. Remember, the fox and the lion live in one body. The fox reads quiet rooms and recognizes the trap disguised as applause. It asks another question and buys time. The lion stands when a line is crossed, not to roar endlessly, but to end the matter. Use the fox in discovery, the lion in decision, intelligence first. Enforcement second. Never reverse the order. In love, in work, in friendship, apply the same constitution. A partner who thrives on your confusion loses privileges until clarity returns. A manager who keeps moving goalposts gets everything in writing. A friend who trades your private pain for public charm meets a locked door. You do not announce these shifts. You embody them. Do not wait for courage. Build it through procedure. Courage grows when your laws carry weight. You do not have to improvise every defense. You have a script to follow. Over time, the fear of being mean fades, replaced by the calm of being fair. This is how power returns. Not as thunder, but as order. You become reliable to yourself. Your boundaries stop buzzing like alarms and start humming like a well-tuned engine. People will call you distant. Let them. Distance is the space where respect can live. The ones who belong will cross it with ease by the bridge of their own conduct. Read as the fox, defend as the lion, and keep the law. Fortune is the arbiter of one half of our actions, but she still leaves us to direct the other half. Hope is not a candle in the wind. It is a city with working gates. You choose fewer citizens and stronger walls. You write simple laws and keep them. You stop measuring life by how loud the crowd cheers and start measuring by how quietly your days run. Peace begins when you reduce the noise and guard the wells. Choose the small republic over the empire of acquaintances. 10 honest hands are worth more than 10,000 claps. You do not need everyone, you need the right few, depth over breadth. One friend who tells you the hard truth in private and defends you in public is a better shield than a stadium of fair-weather fans. In practice, this looks like shorter dinners, longer walks, fewer group photos, more real help moving the heavy box. You spend Saturdays with people who know your kitchen light, not just your highlight reel. Your heart grows stronger when your borders stop leaking. The group chat becomes smaller and kinder. Meetings contain fewer passengers and more builders. You stop proving yourself to strangers and start improving the lives of citizens. Loyalty rises when expectations are clear, when credit is shared, when disrespect is priced out. You are not colder. You are clearer. That clarity produces warmth that lasts. Now, virtue against fortune. Weather changes. Algorithms flip. Markets shrink. People move. You cannot command the sky, but you can steer the ship. Character is the skill of steering. Review alliances as seasons turn. Who stayed when the applause ended? Who did their duty without prompting? Reward them. Move them closer to the center. Do it quietly, consistently. Fortune favors the ruler who organizes before the storm appears on the horizon. Prune politely. Not with rage, with rhythm. Once a month, subtract one obligation that drains and adds no value. Tell the truth without drama. This no longer fits my priorities. The space you reclaim funds courage for the right. Yes, fear will argue that saying no loses friends. Let it argue. Those who need unlimited access are not citizens. They are tourists who resent customs. Your discipline invites the right people and routes the rest to the public square. Practice is hope's engine. Set small rituals that gather strength like bricks. Weekly, write the names of 3 allies who lifted you. Thank them directly. Quarterly, choose one boundary to tighten. Test it in daylight. Annually, retire one identity that kept you stuck. The people pleaser, the always available, the fixer of everyone's storms. Replace it with a citizen role, the reliable builder, the fair partner, the calm ruler of a well-run home. Exit the theater. Enter the workshop. No speeches, just work. First, rewrite your standards. Make them brief enough to memorize. Access by behavior. Slow trust, reciprocity audited. Disrespect answered once, then priced out. Put them on your wall or in your phone. Use them like tools, not slogans. Second, test one boundary this week. Maybe you say, I can't, this time, and let the silence stand. Maybe you move a conversation from text to email to create paper and pace. Maybe you decline a last-minute ask that would wreck your sleep. You will feel a flicker of fear. That is the old costume burning. Let it burn. Third, promote one ally. Introduce them to someone who can help them grow. Share their work without expecting applause. Tell them exactly why you trust them. This is how you build a republic, not by tearing down enemies, but by resourcing friends. When you live this way, hope stops being luck and becomes architecture. Your mornings feel clean. Your evenings feel earned. The city hums. Fortune will still knock, sometimes with rain, sometimes with gifts. You will not flinch. You will welcome the sky as it is and steer as you must. Fox when reading, lion when defending, ruler always. Peace is not a miracle. It is management. Keep the circle small, the laws clear, and the heart steady.